Deion Sanders has done enough to earn an NFL coaching job.
From his time at Colorado?
Correct.
No, I'm punting that. If Deion Sanders, which the reports are now that the Cowboys are interested in Deion Sanders, the Raiders are interested in Deion Sanders. If Deion Sanders gets an NFL head coaching job, it's going to be because he's Deion Sanders, because he's prime, because he's built up brand equity, not necessarily what he's done at Colorado. I mean, great, you won 9 games when they won 1 before that. It's a great job. I'm not taking anything away from what he's done, but that's not the reason that you're going to get an NFL job. It's going to be the relationships that he's built up, possibly something with drafting Travis or Shadur, especially if it's the Raiders. Cowboys, I don't think are going to be high enough up to get that pick. And I don't fault him for it. If you want to just go and be able to coach your sons, I'm jealous of you, man. I hope that my son and I can have a relationship like that for a long time. One thing I do find interesting, though, when we talk about has Deion Sanders done enough at Colorado to earn an NFL coaching offer, I remember when Brian Kelly at LSU had 2 top 10 picks, and Jaden Daniels, you just talked about him, went 9-3, and we criticized him and said, man, that's not good enough. You had 2 top 10 picks. You're going to be on the hot seat. In Colorado, Deion is going to have what looks to be 2 top 10 picks, but we're saying now he should go get the Raiders head job and no questions asked. I do think that's a little bit interesting.
All right, Jake. Deion Sanders has done enough to earn an NFL coaching job. You punting or you going?
I'm going. You had 1 year at Colorado where you tripled the win total. Yeah, you ended up winning 3 games from the year before, but it's always worked. I think Deion Sanders is an NFL guy. Deion Sanders' fame is more from the NFL than it was in college, and he was a beast in college. Heck, some people even remember Deion Sanders as a Major League Baseball player, another professional organization, but it's always worked. Say what you want about Prime, he has found a way. Comes out of nowhere at Jackson State, has a bunch of success. Comes over to Colorado, they couldn't win an inter-squad spring game before him. And he goes from 1 wins the year before, the previous coach, to 3, and then triples that to 9. It's always worked. So yes, talk about moving that bus. Talk about turning one of those old broke down homes into a $500,000 house. Deion Sanders has done it at one of the hardest places to do it, at a college that wasn't doing. So going to the NFL, going to the Raiders, where you're just a couple plays away, where you're a couple free agent moves away, where you can trade up and still coach for your son, I think Prime has proven enough. I think it's time to go for him to go to the NFL, because deep down, I think that's where he's always wanted to be. You talk about being the best. You talk about coaching at the highest level. If that's what you're going to go with, and I'm not saying you had that take, I know it was David's, but I think Deion Sanders sees himself as that. He wants to prove that, and he can say, boys, I made it a trifecta, right? I went from an HBCU to a Power 5 to now the NFL, and I think Mark Davis, much better fit, will let him do what he wants. Jerry Jones is not going to hire him because he'll.
That gets me to my next question, David. Will Jerry Jones, is Deion Sanders too big of a fish to swim in Jerry Jones' pond?
I don't know. People say that. I mean, he had the relationship with Jimmy Johnson prior when they were at Arkansas, so that's why that hire was made in the 90s, and clearly that worked out. I understand what you say about sycophants and yes men, and those are the type of coaches he hired. That's why I'm surprised he moved on from Mike McCarthy when Jason Garrett got so many years. But back to the Deion Sanders thing, I guess my ultimate point is whether or not Deion Sanders gets a shot in the NFL won't be based off what the record was at Colorado. Like, that interest is already going to be there because of the brand.
But if he was 1-11 though, you think it would still be there?
I think there was people who probably wanted Deion Sanders to be an NFL head coach before he even got the Jackson State job.
Maybe the best example is Antonio Pierce. Maybe that's the best.
That's what I'm saying. The Raiders are already coming off of an example with that. And Deion Sanders is 100 times the brand as a football player than Antonio Pierce was. So, but to your point on he's more of an NFL guy. Yes, he built his brand in the NFL. Don't you think that he can have more, sway and influence on the college game through recruiting? Yes, you can land some big free agents here and there because they just want to come and have the prime experience, right, and play for Deion Sanders. But you can do that with every single player at the college level. He's clearly formed a good friendship with Nick Saban. They're in the Aflac commercials and all that. If he calls Nick Saban and asks for his advice, isn't that what Nick Saban's going to say? You can have far more influence at the college game doing what you're doing with recruiting right now?
I think he already has. I think he already has when you look at the transfer portal. Hell, he got Travis Hunter to go to Jackson State, the #1 overall player. But I don't think that's what this is about. I think it's about more of what Blaine was talking about with Marcus Freeman. I think it's about what Prime wants.
Ego.
I think it's about what Prime views himself as. Yes, he can have all that sway, but he's kind of, not that they've won a national championship or made the playoff, but he's proven. You get Juju Lewis out of high school. Look at all these transfers that he's got in. He's shown he's been able to build it, and he uses that cachet, and he uses that brand. But I think this is more about Deion Sanders. And then you throw in the fact that the one denominator, the common denominator that he's had this whole time is what?
Shedeur?
His sons.
That's my next question. Like, what if he gets Shedeur? Let's say there's some way this works out where he goes to the Raiders and they get Shedeur, and Shedeur ends up being a Hall of Fame quarterback. He played for him at Jackson State, played for him at Colorado. He's going to having played for him in the NFL in that hypothetical. Don't you just run into the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady scenario in that?
Well, not for Blaine. He thinks Bill Belichick's the greatest.
Aren't you then just going to say, well, Deion Sanders was
good.
only as successful as a coach because his son was a Hall of Famer?
Well, the best part about this and the why it's different, I made him. He came from me. That's a little bit different. It wasn't Tom Belichick. His son's the DC at North Carolina right now, and more power to him.
Bill drafted him.
Yeah, he did draft him. I agree with that. But Deion made him. And believe me, as someone who just got done making a human, and David, you know this, and Blaine, I think eventually you're going to know this, that hits a little bit different. Yeah, it's a machine, but it's my machine. I think that's the difference there. Quickly, I know we got to get to the phone lines. The Bill Belichick quarterback thing.
Oh, yeah, that's our not top player.
Yeah, we got a not top player we forgot to get to. Do we have the video of the new transfer quarterback to North Carolina, Justin Bieber's long-lost brother? Let's just play this because he is now committed, became the first transfer commitment, I think, to Bill Belichick.
This is official?
This is official. He was a 4-star out of high school. I believe he was at Texas. Then he just transferred to North Carolina. Let's play this video real quick. I mean, you can see the filters. I mean, it's basically a filter guard commercial. I mean, it looks like he's about to go Super Saiyan with that hair. Here's where I'm at, and I hate...
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, look, it's pretty simple to me. This kid will not last with Bill Belichick. I think he'll hop in the portal before the season is done. If he's going to yell at Tom Brady in meetings, you've got this guy who, again... More power to him. He can go be an Abercrombie & Fitch model if he wants after. I don't think he's going to be hunting for a job. I just wonder what his mom looks like, to be honest. But at the end of the day, if you're going to make these videos, and he's not the only one, we've seen some other guys, you better ball. You better ball, because if you don't, they are going to drag you through the streets like they did old boy in the Troy Brad Pitt.
Yes, there we go.
Oh, yeah, Sunshine. But hey, say what you want. Sunshine was really about it when it came down to it. I don't know this guy personally, but I just don't know. Like, it's got a lot of Kardashian vibes. You put this out there, you better ball, buddy, because they will feed you to the sharks when it comes down to it.
Look, I don't know who this chick is. All right. But
classic Carolina guy.
I don't like this. Like, TikTok is ruining the youth in America. It is like, bring back bullying. Bring back. I am dead serious.
Oh, boy.
This is what happens when they're like, we need bullies back in today's society. He needs to get bullied. Someone bully him to fix him.
Hey, guess what?
All the time.
Guess what? You know who it is?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
His name is Bill.
That's who it's going to be.
So
I
this
bullied
guy-
my best friend in becoming a lawyer.
I
bullied
tells
him.
this story.
I bullied him.
The outlier example.
Sometimes you
of
bully
bullying.
him because you love him. All right? I don't know who this chick is, but will someone please bully this person so maybe they can reach their full potential one day?
So wait, this kid transferred from Texas, University of Texas?
I think.
So Texas had this guy on scholarship and Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. They were all in the same quarterback room. No wonder they're out here losing games.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. I just had too good of friends growing up. They'd have been like, don't put that out. You know, you're like, hey man, should I post this? Just and it's like, nah. Some things, my uncle has a great saying, just because you can't do something doesn't mean you should.
Let's go. We got guys painting nails,
Sunshine,
holding purses.
I wasn't ready for
better ball.
Yeah, things are different.
No, I'm more upset about the high school he went to. What high school did he go to that he did not get bullied for 4 years?
Odds are, and we have a lot of people from California that watch the show. What are the odds you think he went to high school in California?
Oh, for sure. Sunshine is from California.
That is true.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Want to get to 200,000 subs. Let's make it happen, because I believe in you.